Hey guys, hope all is well. Just chiming in. Um, just sending this message to us as Black women. And I'm only speaking from my experience. So I put a post up not too long ago that was saying how I realized that I was, as Zoe Williams. I watched his show, Relationship Guy, who specializes in relationships, right? And basically, this healing journey, I have realized that age wise, a lot of us as Black women, we're adults by age, but spiritually, we're very immature. And for me, the way what I did to start to grow up spiritually is to tap into myself, tap into my childhood. And for me, I have mother and daddy wounds. Both of my parents were drug addicts. So I didn't have neither one of my parents to raise me. I was raised by a aunt who was an alcoholic, who was married to a pedophile. So I had very interesting dynamic that I saw growing up. Also coming from the fact that my mother didn't raise me, so I wasn't taught how to be a woman, how to love. But at the same time, I can't expect that from somebody who wasn't aware of how to give that either. You know what I'm saying? So tapping into my childhood and really understanding the dynamics and the dysfunctional patterns that I have been taught or what has been passed down on me. But at the same time, when you really start thinking about it logically, then I start learning about like my attachment style. Like, what is that? I found out I was fearful avoidant. And when I look back on my past relationships, yeah, very fearful, fear of getting hurt, fear of getting my heart broken, fear of someone leaving me. So in every relationship I ever had, I never really gave somebody my full all because of the fear of getting hurt. And that came from my childhood. That came from, the first guy that ever broke my heart was my dad. You know what I'm saying? The first woman to ever break my heart was my mother. I never had a mother to be a true mother figure, to be my first teacher, to teach me, to guide me in order that I did as a father. So to go through life experiences and learning as you go, you just kind of willy-nilly out here because you haven't had that teacher to guide you and direct you or even share their experiences where you can learn from their experiences. So with that being said, when I started learning about myself and really tapping into me, knowledge of self, who I am at the core of my being, as an individual, as a melanated person, as a Black woman in America, when I really started reading and studying on those things, I had come into this spiritual awakening where I knew what my purpose was. I knew what I was here for. When I talk a lot about breaking generational curses, and that can mean different things for different people. But my take on it is just breaking those dysfunctional patterns. And for me, being a woman that's been married 14 years with 3 children, when I had my first 2 children, I was very immature spiritually. So when you're having kids and you're not mature when you have those children, you have to think about the state that you're in when you give birth to those children. So if you're at a bad state spiritually, meaning at that time I had no self-awareness. I was not taking accountability. I was very immature internally, spiritually. So when you think about that, that means that I really was a little kid raising kids. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a kid raising kids, you're going to repeat that pattern, right? So I had to really, now on the outside, like now that I'm looking at the years of immaturity, unknowingly, mind you, all the mistakes that I made as a parent. I'm speaking from a black woman as a parent. I'm married, but being a parent is hard. Whether you married, you're single, you co-parent, whatever the case may be. It's not no book on parenting. Every child is different. Every dynamic and situation is different. But for me, when you sit back and you look at the decisions that you made over the years, thinking that those were the best decisions at that moment in time in your life, now you see the effects of those decisions, the outcomes of those decisions, and you've caused unintentional trauma to your children. And now that I see what I've done, now it's like, okay, forgiving myself, giving myself compassion, giving myself grace to understand that I did it the best that I could at that time, because I felt like the decisions that I was making was right for me at that time in my life. But at the same time, now I have to understand I can't do anything about that. I can't change that. So what can I do moving forward to clean up my mess? Right? So I see that I wasn't emotionally available. Now that I'm in this space, I'm more present in the moment. I try to stay in mindfulness. I meditate. I do a lot of things for self-care to work on myself. And now that I'm doing that, it's easy for me to take accountability. It's easy for me to just really slow down and be present in the moment so I can remain self-aware of my feelings and being able to stay emotionally intelligent, to be able to make those decisions to react in a healthy way versus a not a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, all our emotions are normal emotions, but how we react to those emotions, that's on us. So I think my biggest fear is failing as a mother. And I'm really happy and I'm very grateful to the universe that I have had this spiritual awakening before my kids have become adults. So now I'm able to break the dysfunctional dynamic. I'm gonna give y'all a quick example and I'm gonna let y'all go. But this is speaking from my experience. So for my kids, me and my husband gave them everything that we didn't have. Games, clothes, shoes, the whole nine, right? Oh, I didn't have. I want my kids to have. I want my kids to have. But you don't realize that you're creating entitled children. So then you don't. It's to the point where they don't want to work for nothing. They feel like everything should be given to them. You know what I'm saying? So we have to take accountability for that because we created it. So you can't complain about what you created. All you can do is make better decisions moving forward. I'm not going to give you everything because that's not going to benefit you. That's not reality. That's not life. You have to work for what you want, right? But at the same time, it's good for us to not want our kids to struggle. But by us not wanting them to struggle, what are we creating in the process? Are we causing another form of trauma? Are we preparing them to be preparing them for this world, I guess you can say? You know what I'm saying? By kind of trying to protect them and shield them. Is that really benefiting them at the end of the day, right? So that's a lot. I'm working on some things in silence, y'all. So I know I've been MIA, but just know that I'm here. I'm working on myself every day, working on being a better person every day, being a better mother every day. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love my black goddesses, y'all. Tap into yourself, tap into who y'all are. Read, seek that knowledge, seek that understanding, be open to new ideas and new perspectives. I love y'all. Peace and blessings. One love.